We bought our dream motorhome. We had it for 3 days and then it caught fire on our driveway.
It was the normal ski trip preparation. The motorhome was stood there on our drive and we were just loading our ski gear into the van, getting ready for that wonderful ski trip away. I was outside loading the lockers, getting the skis and the ski boots and everything ready. Where were you?
I was inside the van, putting the ski jackets and the salopettes and everything away.
Suddenly, it all happened really, really quickly. Our neighbour from across the road came running over. I had my head in one of the lockers and I could smell smoke. And literally, within minutes, smoke was engulfing the van. Shouting to Nikki, "Get out, get out." You got out.
I got out. I could smell smoke. I knew something wasn't right.
What we knew when Nikki got out the van was this was serious. I rushed around to get the gas bottles out from the other side. My main fear was how close the van was to our house.
Whilst Paul was trying to get the gas bottles out the van, I was calling the fire brigade. We have terrible mobile phone signal in our village. We couldn't get a signal, so I had to go inside and use the landline phone.
Within 6 minutes, the fire brigade were on our doorstep. By the time they arrived, the van was really in flames inside. Flames engulfing inside the van, smoke bellowing out. Our neighbours out assisting and helping us.
It was devastating to see.
The problem with the fire brigade putting the van out was every time they thought the van was out, somehow it just caught fire again. Basically, they didn't understand the drop-down bed was hiding some heat, and obviously the fire behind the drop-down bed kept causing it to reignite every time they got out.
When the fire brigade allowed us back into the van, it became apparent that the van was more or less totally destroyed.
We hadn't just lost a van, we'd lost years and years and years of our memories. Those people that have a motorhome will know that your motorhome is really an extension of your house. So we had so much stuff in our van which was really personalised to us.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just about losing the van, it was about losing all the other bits and pieces inside.
The fire brigade were really good. They were here really quickly, they were really efficient, they knew what they were doing. When the fire was out, as soon as they could, they allowed me back in to get my phone, my handbag and valuables that were in here to see what condition they were in.
What the fire brigade did do is they had a really, really good understanding of the emotional impact that losing such things has upon you.
For months afterwards, every time I saw a fire engine on blue lights, it brought a lump to my throat about what they might be going to and what somebody might be suffering.
The fire brigade done a good recce of a van trying to understand what the cause of the fire was. To them it was more than evident that the fire had started in the battery compartment and therefore they believed the fire was an electrical fault, and that's as far as they could say, or the most they could say. It was just a random electrical fault. Now this is where the fun begins, because this is where you have to go through that insurance nightmare. Now I understand how and I understand why. We've owned a motorhome for 3 days, it's caught fire. it's clearly a total write-off. It's an extremely high-value product. And then all of a sudden, you start to realise that you're a suspect in this disaster that you've just been suffering. It started with phone calls and then being pushed from one person to another person. Then it started with, we'd like to interview you regarding your fire, which all of a sudden you start to really, really worry. I was worried.
Yeah, you were. We both were.
So therefore, I then had to track up to Manchester and be interviewed by the insurance company as they tried to establish what happened and whether in fact we ourselves had any part in why the motorhome caught fire. In your head, all you can think about is, hold on, we are absolutely devastated. Why would we want to do this? We want to be on the road. We were going skiing in 2 weeks. Why would we play any part in this? But obviously, as is the case with the insurance, they need their questions answered. Having completed statements and had an interview, it was quite clear that the insurance company were more than satisfied that this was a random incident and one that thankfully is not too common. They then became very helpful and started to go through a list of what we had in the motorhome.
The wranglings then began over what the value of the van was, bearing in mind we'd had it for 3 days, and also the contents of the van and the value attached to the contents.
So you, at this point, this is one of the reasons of the video, which we'll come to in a bit, but at this point, you don't realise exactly what value you have inside, do you?
No, on the contents.
We had ski jackets because we were going skiing. They're not cheap items, £300, £400, £500.
We had leather jackets because we take a scooter with us.
Yeah, again, Lakeland leather jackets, £300, £400, £500. There's 2 of you, so immediately you're into £2,000 worth of kit before you even realise. Obviously, like anything, those jackets aren't worth it. You can't sell them on eBay for that money, but you've got to replace them.
Yeah.
You can't replace them from eBay. You've got to go and buy new.
And then you've got your cutlery, your crockery, your pots and pans, your clothes, your toiletries. There's just so much in the motorhome that you don't really realise the full value of what you're carrying with you.
So one of our tips would be, do a recce of your van. Know exactly what's in there and attach a value to it. Should anything like this happen to you, then you'll be prepared. I'm sure it won't, but then we never thought it'd happen to us.
No, you never think it'll happen to you.
No, we just generally didn't. Just to add, we also had a fire extinguisher that served no purpose whatsoever.
No.
In fact, my neighbour came over with a fire extinguisher and the pair of us were both having a go with our fire extinguisher, and be quite honest, we needn't have bothered.
In the end, the insurance company actually came quite good with the payment settlement. The contents, we were actually underinsured, but they paid out to the full insured value, even though our contents were worth more than that.
With the motorhome itself, they took £3,000 off it for 3 days. We'd been away in it for 3 nights, so the most expensive 3 nights we've ever had away in the motorhome is how we choose to describe it. But overall, we just didn't want to argue. We just wanted to take the money
And move on
move
to
on.
wherever we were going from there.
and try and get on and into another van as quickly as we possibly could.
Although we were really apprehensive about going into another van, because that fear that something like this could happen again stays with you for a very long time. And we felt that we had to get into another van, but we weren't really sure if we actually wanted to.
One of the most emotional things was watching the van get moved off the driveway.
Yeah.
2 reasons really. One is that it wouldn't move because it was pretty much solid, seized and stuff. So it had to be dragged off our drive, which caused damage to the driveway. But again, we were too emotional to sort of go back and say we want, come and relay our drive. We just saw it off, and that was it.
We just wanted it gone off the drive. We didn't want to be seeing it every day and reminding of what had happened. I know some people will be wondering why it's taken us over 3 years to post this video and make this video.
Quite simply, because even today, so many people say to me today, what happened to your van? Did you find out? Did you ever find out? And it's a chance for us to finally just put it to bed. It happened. You move on, to get on with it. And it was an awful experience at the time. And I think, to be fair, we tried to avoid talking about it. But when we were doing one of our earlier videos, showing our vans and how many vans we've had in the years that we've been motorhoming, this one came up. And again, the questions started. People started asking the questions. So it's just a way that hopefully we can do this video. You can comment, by all means. You can drop a like, by all means. But it was just a way for us to sort of finally end that story. Yeah,
draw a line under it.
And move on.
Yeah, and we have moved on.
And we have moved on.
Quite successfully.
Yeah.
We have moved on quite well.
Yeah, so getting back on the road. Let's just deal with getting back on the road. What did we do? Well, we had to find a van as soon as we possibly could. Now, we were very fortunate in that we found this lovely Heimer off a friend of ours who needed to downsize.
Mm-hmm.
She saw that we had a bit of trouble, so we helped her out, she helped us out, and we got back on the road in that Heimer, which is a van we absolutely loved.
Yeah, we did.
Then we had to put the next thing to bed, which was buying the same model motorhome, because we loved that model of motorhome. That's why we chose it. It was beautiful.
It was.
So we then bought this van, and this van was that model of motorhome. And in a way, a perverse way, it helped us put it to bed, because we loved that van. We drove to Croatia in that van for an Ironman. We then toured around in that van. We spent a lot of time in it. We then prepped it and went skiing in that van, and we had a great time in it, just to prove that it wasn't a make that wasn't at fault. It was that particular van that was at fault. Just that particular van. So we moved on. As I said, we had the Heimer, which is a great van, and then we changed it for that same make vehicle so that we could look at that same make of vehicle and feel comfortable again. And then this came up.
Yeah.
So this was this was our dream motorhome since we had our first one of these. So this came up, and although we only owned that other van for 6 months, when this came along,
we knew this was the one.
So therefore we had it. So it's all behind us. We're back on the road. Now, just for you guys, a couple of tips. Check your insurance. Make sure you've got enough cover on your insurance.
Yeah, check your contents cover.
Check your contents cover. Indeed. Just make sure that you carry a fire extinguisher. It wasn't any use for us, but on electrical fires they rarely are.
But there will be circumstances where a fire extinguisher or a fire blanket will be vital pieces of kit.
So always make sure you have them. Smoke alarms. Oh God, put a smoke alarm in your van. Put a carbon monoxide alarm in your van.
Yeah.
But don't not do it. Just don't not do it, because you never know. And I can't stress this enough. We are the most risk-averse people. We're just so risk-averse. Yeah? We never dreamed that anything like this would ever happen. We'd never dream of anything like this ever happening to us. But it did. And if it can happen to us, it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
And I don't want to scare people.
No.
That's not our thing. We love motorhoming.
Yeah, motorhome fires like ours are very rare. They're not an everyday occurrence.
And just park your motorhome a little bit away from your house, because our house if them firemen hadn't come as quickly as they did, we potentially could have been looking at a double fire. If you ever get stuck and you want to see how we handled the claim process, drop in the comments, let us know. We can always extend this a bit and show you. And just lastly, just a little bit of a disclaimer. This is our story. This is our personal experience. Yeah. And that's it. There's no, obviously we've put pictures of our motorhome on there. There's no affiliation to that brand being wrong or another brand being wrong.
No.
It is just what it is, and it is just what it is for us. Very, very, very rarely, motorhomes catch fire. And that's it.
Well, thank you for watching, and hopefully our next video will be a little bit more upbeat than this one.
Yeah, not our normal style, not our normal thing, but as I said, people wanted to know. We've put it out there. It's done. We can move on. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Follow our travels for tips. Seems like you'd want tips from us after that experience. But yeah, tips and tricks. And of course, following our travels, because we are going very soon.
We're going away. We're
getting away.
We're getting on a ferry.
We're getting on another ferry. And we're going away in just a few weeks' time. And we'll tell you about that next time up.
Yeah.
Okay, enjoy your day, enjoy your night, enjoy your motorhome times. Love it all. What else can I say?
Good night.
Back to our comedic
Well, it's good
self.
night from me.
And it's good night from her. Okay. There's a throwback that some of you won't understand. Good night.